Well, that was a heck of a football game. Got to give the Bears a ton of credit. We knew that it was going to be a tough challenge, and it was exactly that. It took a full 60 minutes, and we're fortunate that we made a play when we needed to at the end of the game. But it was a back and forth battle, particularly in that second half.
Matt, I'm sure you don't want to get fined, but what does Micah Parsons have to do to draw a holding penalty?
I guess I don't know. I don't know. I thought there was one that certainly was questionable, to say the least, but apparently the officials disagree. So it is what it is, and we just got to continue to strain and fight and try to get to the quarterback.
What kind of answer did you get on that when you were pointing to the scoreboard and talking to the ref there at that timeout?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into what we were talking about. I just, officials, I don't think that their jobs are easy by any stretch. I think it is a difficult job, but, I guess I don't know what holding is anymore because I thought that was pretty clear and obvious hold, but I guess I don't know what that means.
Haven't seen these guys again in I think it's 13 days. What do you tell the guys about this one and then, what's to come?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like, you just got to move on to the next game. And we got a great test in front of us going to Denver. I'm not sure if they won today or not, but they did. All right. So, I mean, what are they, 11-2 now or whatever it is? So we got a great challenge in front of us, and I don't think you can focus on anything other than that. Obviously, we're gonna get together. We're gonna watch the game tomorrow. This past game tomorrow, and there's a lot of stuff obviously to clean up. I was disappointed. I thought there was an opportunity in the second half to kind of pull away, knowing that we were getting the ball, and to go 3 and out to start the second half was not great. And then they turned around. They had a long drive and scored a touchdown. So it put them right back in the football game.
Matt, I know you're not surprised, but what does it say about Keyshawn that he goes through the stuff with the penalties in the first half and then he makes them?
Yeah, and I thought one of those was I thought he got grabbed, and I thought that was a penalty, but again, I'm not an official.
Now, what did you say to him though when he came off the field after the personal foul? And it looked like you guys kept him on the bench for a couple of plays after that.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into what I said to him. He knows what I said to him. We had a quick conversation, and I just, you got to be smart. You got to keep your poise. I get it. Football is an emotional game, especially when you talk about Packers-Bears. There's just a heightened sense of emotion, but you got to keep your poise at the end of the day, and you can't do anything that hurts the team. But, however, I will say that I was proud of how he responded, and certainly I know he had a couple PBUs, and then to have that interception at the end of the game was obviously a critical moment.
The final touchdown, you had kind of passing personnel out there. Was the play call changed? Did Jordan change that to a run, or was that called a run?
No, that was a run. It was a run. It was an RPO, if you will. I mean, we have a pass option on it. No, the final touchdown, yes, that was a can play. Sorry, I was thinking about the play before when we got the offsides. Yeah, we had a can on the play. It was a pass, and we canned to the run because we didn't like the look. So that was a heck of a job by Jordan.
You were obviously you've had some rough spots during the season. Now here you are. You're in first place in the division. Obviously nothing is guaranteed, but what does it mean to be where you are at the moment?
It means nothing right now. It means a lot, but it also, there's 4 weeks left, and you got to take it day by day. You got to really embrace that grind, embrace the challenge. It's not going to be easy from here on out. We got a great test in Denver coming up, and our guys really got to push and try to find, any competitive advantage that we can get in order to go there on the road against a really quality opponent and find a way to get a win.
Matt, did you or Ben say anything to each other, or was it just a blow-by handshake?
Oh, it's just, I think, quick handshake. I mean, we'll see him again in 2 weeks, so.
It's not often where a head coach will call out another one. Any extra satisfaction with this?
No, absolutely not. It was just, it's Packers-Bears. It's a great rivalry. And certainly with what was at stake in regards to positioning in the NFC North, I mean, that's the only thing that matters.
Matt, on the go-ahead touchdown drive he had, I think it was like 33, you pitched it out to Jacobs. How did he get through there?
That's a great question. A great question, Mike. That was a hell of an individual effort because we missed. We were trying to B block up to the backer, and I think the 3 technique got a little loose. We knew the end was going to be there. He was unblocked. We thought we could outrun him. He put his foot in the ground, and then all of a sudden I just see a burst right in front of my face, and I think it was a 21-yard gain. It was just a great individual effort, and I thought the guys were straining to try to get a block for him as well downfield.
This rivalry has been pretty one-sided throughout most of your tenure. Does it feel different now that you guys are where you're always at and they're good and these games?
That's a really good football team. We got a lot of respect. They got good talent and good coaching. So it's a really good football team, and I thought they did a nice job in the second half making whatever adjustments they made. And I mean, they kind of controlled the game in the second half, but luckily when they scored, we were able to answer a couple of times. There weren't a lot of possessions in the game. Both teams were able to possess the ball, and just it comes down. It's always like a play here or a play there. That's the difference in the game.
When you guys lost,
Christian Watson week to week after what we saw today.
Yeah, he is a dynamic player, and we got to continue to find ways to get him the ball. I think, he had obviously 3 pretty explosive plays, the 2 touchdowns, and I'm just really proud of how he is. What happened a year ago versus Chicago Bears, and how he's responded and how he's worked to get him into a spot now where you go out and you see what he can do, and got a lot of love and a lot of respect for Christian Watson.
when you lost Kraft, that was a pretty big blow to the offense, but it seems like your offense is picking up steam anyway. What's been the key to that? Has Watson been the key to that, or what do you think?
I think the collective, I mean, it's all those guys just kind of taking it on. I think, obviously a week ago, Wicks had a heck of a game. He was kind of hindered in this game. His ankle was really bothering him, so, he wasn't as available as he typically is. And MG's fighting through his deal. It's crazy to me that, Rome, he's been as impactful as anybody, and he's got no touches today. And we certainly tried to get him the ball, and it just didn't work out. But I think the collective, all those guys, just battling for one another, and you just never know who's going to be the guy to make a play. And I mean, Bo Melton comes up and has a critical play in the game right before the half, and but I think it says a lot about the group, how they're resilient, how they root for each other, how they strain for each other, and they just go out there and compete. And I love that room, and it's not just the receiver room, but all those guys. It was certainly great to have Jaden Reed back out there today. You could see some of the dynamic playmaking ability that he brings to our offense, obviously with that critical catch on a through route that Jordan put on that final touchdown drive. So I think all those guys are certainly capable of making plays, and it's just you'd like to have 100 plays in a game so they can each have five to 7 touches.
Matt, what's it like knowing that you have the type of defense you do that can close a game?
Yeah, I mean, it's great, and I think that's the challenge, is try to put our defense in a position where they can go after the quarterback. And Caleb Williams, I mean, he is a tough guy to sack. It's amazing the stuff that he can get out of. And then he's obviously, he can throw extremely well and extremely accurate on the run. And he made a ton of big-time throws tonight where he got out of some crazy stuff and made some huge plays for them.
You knew coming in how much these guys had taken the ball away, especially with interceptions. What did you think of the way your quarterback responded after throwing the early pick?
Yeah, that was obviously a tough play, but I thought, outside of that, man, I thought he did a really good job. Number one, taking care of the ball, but just making huge plays. You know, that the third down throw to Christian Watson, you know, he sees man coverage and he checks to that play, and that's a hell of a job to him. Same with the first touchdown pass to him. He sees, you know, an all-out pressure, and he checks to that play, and just a great job by him.
You mentioned that a lot of these games come down to a play or two. You guys seem to make those more often than not. Where does that come from, you think?
Really good players. I mean, that's what you got to have in this league, you know. It's hard to win games without great players, and we're fortunate. We got a what's so great about our guys is we feel like we have a lot of great players, but as great of players as they are, the character in that locker room, you know, I think is second to none. And so I love that group. I love this team, and we're just going to continue to battle.
All right. So we've said repeatedly, you got to see these guys in 2 weeks. I get that. You got to play a really good Denver team, but you always say that when you go through adversity, you usually come up better on the other side. You guys have certainly faced
If you handle it the right way. You have to handle it the right way, and you got to just try to keep your head down and keep swinging and fighting and just going to work, you know. And I think teams that are able to overcome adversity by doing that and sticking to your process, I think they're usually better for it in the long run, because there's a lot of confidence that goes with, or that comes with going through some struggle, whether it's football or life or whatever, and being able to just overcome it and come out the other side. And so I personally think that resiliency is the key to life, and you just got to keep battling. And we got a bunch of guys in there that are willing to do that. They're going to fight through the tough stuff and just continue to battle.
So do you think your guys have approached it the right way? And while it would have been nice to just breeze through the first 13 games, you have more work to do, but do you think...
Yeah, there's a lot of ball in front of us, you know, and you just can't take it for granted. And you have to put the work in to put yourself in a position to go out there and have success. And I mean, this league is just so competitive. You know, the balance in our league is crazy, and you just can't take it for granted. And no matter who you're playing, where you're playing, when you're playing, you better bring your A game. And if you don't, you're going to get beat. And so I think we've all learned that and felt that.